of resilience is about ability to recover quickly from illness or change or misfortune or buoyancy. And this is very important for you, I think, today. Our ability to recover is very important, otherwise we'll not survive. And I think going through the issue of migration, the issue of fitting, the issue of quality of life, of having problems with quality of life, like drugs, like smoking, like alcohol, and so on, with youth ages and unlawful sex and so on. We are having lots of children without known parents. All of this can be solved by being more resilient and doing more projects, not talking about it, not even giving lectures. Lectures is not enough. There is lots of brothers from Askara, and the brother he came to and spoke to us. They are playing a good role. Khutbah is also another role, but in reality, people, they will not change from listening. In reality, people will change from your projects. They will learn by doing. They learn from best practice. They learn by doing models. Okay, this is from experience. For a person who lived and gone around the world, did many projects. I did not talk around the world and give lectures. No, I did lots of projects. And for that I say, most successful projects are the ones that sustain, the ones who we made people work in their hands. So resilience is about restoring, actually, the society. So we need to build up resilience of the society by building resilient models, okay, flexible models, where people will see and how much these models became like a reference for them. They will say, instead now of today, I think sisters from Value Team, Selma and so on, they were talking about what? Always Sarajevo city, wherever, the cultural city or the old city, where they made the betting-free city. Okay, now we want to make here Bihać also free school, okay, of betting, or a free maybe even, let's say, block from betting and so on. So this can be done, inshallah, and then later you can have, the force of those bureaucrats, politicians, and so on, that can support you to do maybe Bihać free of betting also. If you want to build tourism, you have to, I'm talking about clean tourism, family tourism, you have to clean lots of things, by the way, so that you build up proper tourism. So the meaning of the resilience is about the ability to bring back and rebound even and return back to the targeted position, which means that you need to rebound whenever you feel that your project is going astray. You need to come back again and calibrate yourself by maybe having focus group, by having other teams. And I wish all the teams, maybe they try to make a jury for them, with the other team. So maybe like entrepreneurship team, they sit down with migration team sit down with the quality of life team, and so on. So that each team will judge the other team and help them to improve themselves. Remember, and all of us will be winners if we make a success story that all of the world, inshallah, will listen up or hear about. Without resilience, there is no aspiration. So the more we are resilient, this is what I'm trying to show you. This is even the OECD that focus that the more resilient organizations and companies and countries, they are the most developed countries. So if we want to be a developed country, we need to be more resilient country. And this means that we need to build up what we call the issue of vulnerability. Means that we shift from being blindsided or easy attacked or estimation. We will work on estimation to really a forecasting and proactive city and organizations and teams. So we need to be more proactive. We need to see when you are going to implement your project, you'll see lots of potentials in your project, and you'll see maybe things that we didn't discuss in the last 3 months. So you need to be flexible and proactive to adopt maybe new methodology. And I hope, inshallah, when we sit down with you in October, if we come back in October, inshallah, we hope and we see that maybe you brought something new that we didn't discuss also. And this is again the issue of being resilient. This will make you more intelligent and highly predictive team and adaptive team that you can adapt to the changes. I want to skip all of this, and there is no time, and I leave these slides for you. Inshallah, we'll cover it later. But without really shifting towards more resilient, the more we go through this cycle again, the more we'll go towards actually move from stability to sustainability. And as I told you, most of my projects, I consider them to be failure because they did not sustain. Sustain means they stayed for more than 5 years. Okay, So we find that, for example, we create a model with the organization, with the company, with the country, but after a while, we feel that it's dropped down within 5 years. Okay, so the more you build up a model and it's stronger, the better will be your success story. And this is what we create competition, world-class competitions about this issue. Okay, so we'll move inshallah from fuzziness. This is the way of what means spiral. We'll move from fuzziness to stability to sustainability to fuzziness again. The inspired people, they always look for fuzziness, by the way. Once you see things are very clear for you always, every day, that means you are not developing. As I told, there is always a difference between growth and development. So don't worry and don't run away from fuzziness. Fuzziness sometimes it is good because it will clarify for you lots of blind spots that you never see. Okay, sometimes like I can feel that the team of entrepreneurship, I see sometimes that they feel that they are lost. Okay, but sometimes being lost, and this is their experience of value team, right? Being lost for some time, but really have the eager to come out of fuzziness. This itself brings you to a better stage. Okay, so fuzziness is not a problem for us. It's actually sometimes a good sign that we are trying to come out of. This is what will create for our teams what we call it healthy and value added, which means they can be more communication. Healthy means more communication, and value added it means that it can create a change really and minimize the instability in your project. Okay, and this will make your project more agile and more inspiring. And this is the completion of the story for inspiration occurring. This is for part one that I wanted to cover quickly, and quickly I'll go for today's part again. Another issue I want to cover is about insights. Okay, insights is very important in our journey. What means insight? Insights mean that we start to see the what, and then, as I told you yesterday, the how. Okay, insight it helps us to really value of self-realization. We appreciate the value of self-realization and self-worthiness. And from insights, we'll be more proactive and self-motivated people. So having insights, having ability to see things in a different way, it will help us to really develop further. And I think what we try to do in this project journey, as if we have done 3 journeys, and we join them together. The pre-workshop, during the forum, and inshallah after the forum. So you have really 3 journeys. Those who attended the whole 3 journeys, like Iqbala, Adina, Kan'an, of course Amina, Selma, those who see the whole journey, even if some of you will go away. For example, I know that Selma will go to Sarajevo, but I told her will correspond through Skype and through Hamza, her brother, and so on. The more you continue this journey, for us now, 2 issues important. You, which is you as our future leaders, inshallah, for the whole world, and for Bosnia, inshallah, and the project. Okay, so the more you sustain with the project and continue with it, the more you're going to create a success story, inshallah. And for that, we say that we can have insight that can develop our experience, insight that can develop our feeling, and insight that can develop the moment that we live in, and we feel that we are so powerful. From insight, as we have written a paper, me and Dr. Adunya, about this issue, and from insight we can say it is a state of not knowing how to solve a problem to a state where knowing how to solve a problem and getting the aha moment. Insight does not happen by coincidence, it is by really trying very hard. So aha moment, lots of people they say, oh, this guy he had the aha moment, which is he made like the invention and so on. This comes through trying and trying and trying through a certain concept till you achieve the difference and make the difference. Insight it goes through again a lot of, by the way, psychological and also data driven. And I'll just focus on the data, for example. The more you collect the data, fresh data, the more you have new information, the more you'll create a new meaning, the more you can create new insights. So the more you have interviews, questionnaires, you focus group, you make discussion, you go to the radio and also discuss during your discussion in the radio. The more you have these data, the more it will create for you new insights about solution for your project, inshallah. Okay, I think I leave it for Dr. Adunya now to talk about this, and I think this theory is no time for it, since we are today also احنا we need to close also about other issues. لا خليك take over لأنه ما بعد أساسا. I will leave inshallah for you these books, by the way, it's available free of charge. Again, Inspiration Economy, you can download it whoever interested, especially youth. I encourage you to read. The more you read, the more you can develop the proper way of doing things. So this book is available in bookboon.com, very popular site. And it's available, of course, on sale with Amazon, but I put it with Bookboon so that people can access it if they cannot afford to buy it as original documents.
It's going to be very short. It's about what are next, what I think about all these teams. How are we going to continue? By yesterday, we saw a lot of nice, full stories. It was a long journey that we're talking about. We are talking about the journey started since April, and a real committed work that started during summer with all these holidays you had, with all these troubles, but you've managed to collect the data, do lots of forums. You are here, even if it was Bayram, Sunday, Saturday, we're all here committed. And we hope that this work to sustain. We don't want this to let it go. And of course, we don't expect from this work only to celebrate and come after 1 year. I'm expecting to have more changes that we can see even in reality. We should have a forecast. What are we going to do? What are we going to change in our society? And these are I always like to do these drawings, and when I first learned this from the Kimahani for 5 years, we used to call these drawings like Picasso drawings. That when you start with this put lines, start as a dream, and then it happens. We've done it today, I've done several projects, and putting divorce percentage lower, and making number of women entrepreneur hires, and lots of other projects. It's just when we put all these numbers always in front of us, I know it's a little bit sometimes, especially the youth, they don't like numbers, they don't like census, they don't like figures. But when you start to put these drawings, you can see more focus towards your goals. And these are one of the things that we put about migration, as you've started talking about migration. How we can see now the things are going. If this is the population, how it should be here in Bosnia, a normal growth of population, but the migration is going higher, and it's proved. And if we continue like this, even the population will go lower. And again, you should say, lots of you are saying that people are migrating because they don't have enough employment or job opportunities to work in. While we can see tourism is going higher. And in each and most country, the East... Tourism? Line? Yes, I mean the aim. Here, I'll show the aim now here. Okay, so the tourism is going higher. If the tourism goes higher, that means that less people should migrate because they should have more job offers here. Because if you, as population, migrated, and this country will continue to have a job for tourism, believe it or not, other people will come and do this job. So if people of Bosnia will migrate, you will come and invest here and you will work here. So it will be like job offer for others, like you going to the other countries. So just put the draws that you think, how can you change? For example, and focus in one project. Say even if in migration, I want to focus and I'll have impact in tourism. And if we can cooperate with the entrepreneur team to have more jobs here. Maybe it will be clearer in my second one. So here the tourism is going higher, but people are migrating. So then you're having two scenarios. Or people will stop coming here, or people are going, other peoples will come and take these jobs from you. So if you, for example, say I will focus in this area of tourism in the stage of, to solve the problem of migration, you can do it. It's like imagination teams that you can think about it. It's
visualization.
Just visualize it, imagine things, see what is the project I'm going to focus on. I've done this a long time ago, but now the person who spoke here today, the first, I was thinking maybe you need to start with this kind of offices as projects in migration. Do you need to still have these type of projects here that find you jobs outside Bosnia, or you want to increase the job places that will find you jobs inside Bosnia? I mean
finding jobs or creating jobs?
And creating jobs.
Not
and
finding jobs. Maybe there is no jobs, yes. But the
Yeah,
creation of
creative
jobs,
job.
this is where we can innovate. Yes.
So these are type of things that
And
I
creating the need for these jobs. And you see, this is one of the things of strength of Dubai. I wish Ibrahim was here. In Dubai, they find the thing and then they create the need that you need to go to this thing. And from nothing, from desert. And lots of countries like this, by the way. So creating the need for such type of jobs is also partly something that you can create a change in your society.
And maybe even last night you were talking about, I just remember the example of Iceland. Before a few years they had a financial crisis, lots of people, like they say that daily there was like 300 people are packing their packs and they are just going.
Many volcanoes.
And volcanoes
in the
and everything.
1990s.
And now in 3 years' time, they are now again back in the top, and it's only because they raised the tourism. They were focusing
They
on
changed their
banking.
model. They went on tourism, totally, not banking sector.
And they are also working now in banking, but it's not the number one. Before they used to make the banking the number one, and when they thought that it's going to be crisis, lots of people started to migrate, and they changed the model. So again, doesn't mean if you fail in a model, they've done the banking, they failed in it, they are going, they have the volcanoes, that means that they are going to stop. And now you can see Iceland. Iceland now is even much more developed and more expensive country even than a Scandinavian country, and most of one of the top in the development country. So you can see how did they change it, and they changed tourism without having, and their signature. You go to the airport. It was a project. People asked about the gambling. They said we don't have a single gamble shop in whole Iceland. So they have a clean tourism. People go there really to see their nature, and I can see even much better nature here than there. And lots of other good things. I will not speak about Iceland, and there are lots of other countries and examples. This is just a small example of a country that they change a model from a banking when they failed to tourism, and instead of now people were used to migrate hundreds every day when they had the crisis and because they had lots of loans, they didn't know how to do with it, to a model of a country that people now want to go there and find jobs because people became job creators in all different type of things. And imagine if there was like one of the tours they took you and you're paying hundreds of euros to show you the sunset during midnight. And people
Just to go in front of the sea to see the sunset.
during
You're
midnight.
paying money for that.
And it was like around 100 euro, and you go and pay it. Tourists go and pay for it. So it's just that someone go and put it, and tourists go for it. And other things that they have. And they think that it's unique in their country, and you have lots of unique things. So they built a model out of nothing after a crisis, and they could do it, and all of the countries can do it. So
Or to
it's-
go and see whales, for example, in the sea. And so on.
yeah, and here you can take me to Una and I just go and see the fish, even if it's too small. And lots of other things. I think you have much more things even here for us to see. And you just need to plan what are the things that we are going to focus on. What are the things that let people migrate, and let me think of a total opposite thing that will help them to think in the other way, and let me put the imagination out of it. These exercises, we just want to think together. We will not have the time to go for discussions because I'll go on very fast. Now, what do you think are the main flow for migration team? Mitigation migration team. Not from the migration mitigation team, but you've heard their story over these 4 days, past 4 days. What was the flow of mitigation migration? I mean, I only have Mohammed Buhaji to ask now here.
Yeah, now we need to link between the issue of migration and the causality of migration. The causality of migration is about people are looking for quality of life, looking for jobs, looking for running away from stability. And I think these are all of these, when we clip them in our model, it can create better model. If we really manage to find for certain youth that is graduating from high school or from Bihać University, really proper jobs, and we show that their quality of life is good, that itself is going to create a success story.
And we always need to think and remember what was the purpose of this team. Because when you remember it, you will remember what you want to do. Even if I'm going to do a Picasso shops, draws in a different type of things, I may go in a different lines. You think I'm going to tourism, which is very far from the idea of migration. You need to remember the purpose of each team that you've started with. You need to understand what do they mean by mitigation migration for you to start a team. Sitting and what is the risk that they are going to take. You want to add here the table cards? No,
Continue.
And I think you already, as a team, you have this slide, so I'll not go through them all. I will just pass them, so you know them. And you will have these in stages and pathways. And I think as a teams, you've all seen these slides before, if you remember them. Yes? No? Yes or no? Okay, you continue, then I'll go for the next one.
So احنا راح نبدأ. يعني again, why we put for you this? Because your journey need to be linked together. First of all, as I said, the first meeting with the migration team, you need to define what it means, migration and mitigation, right? From MLM, and we did that, right?
Yes.
And then, based on this, what do you mean by migration? Not migration, what is the government of Bosnia is talking about. Not migration for all the country. Not migration that maybe other Bosnians talk about. Migration for what applies to Bihać and Unasana country. That's our project. And what we need to mitigate. And what means by mitigation? Will not stop migration, all of it. And it's not, we don't have the power to stop migration, but we'll mitigate migration so that we make it adding value to the Bihać people and minimizing that we lose the knowledge drain in our society and so on. So this is what is our team goal. Then we set the risk management program, which is I think the team so far did not manage to do it, maybe because of the skills or the tools. And this is what I'll work with Prof. Amalan. I think she don't like the numbers, so I will work with you because you are a lawyer. I will work with you on the numbers, inshallah, till you make the numbers right. Because we need to prove that we are really mitigation means minimizing risk. Through our model that we are minimizing the risk as much as we can. Then we set up the first survey, and this is what you did. Just talk about your journey. And I'm describing what you have done actually in this journey. After this, just I was describing, so we want you to continue in your next presentation because you have another template for after the forum. You need to explain that what you learn from your first survey, and I think what are the opportunities that's coming up. Okay, and this is, I think, maybe something that was said but was not very clearly said maybe in your presentation. Setting the spirit of mitigation, reduction, or migration. For example, as I said, brain drain free program. We need if people are going to leave us, maybe we don't want the cream of the society to leave us, or the middle of the society. Maybe okay, labor, maybe they have the right if they want to go and migrate. Okay, this I will accept as a free market, like the guy was saying yesterday, but not free market that I become like a place like our brother Kan'an was saying, or I think our brother I forgot his name. Harris was saying that we become like a slave market, okay? Because they are selecting from you whatever they want, other countries, with all the respect. And this is something that's really I never seen in my life in other countries. So this will build up what we call study results, and here we can link it to improving the quality of life, entrepreneurship, innovation, values, and NGOs. Because I think the more people they get involved with entrepreneurship programs, the more we're going to create jobs. So the job creation will not come from the government. And I think this is one of the problems that we are having today in most of our projects. We are seeing that lots of societies, when we go to they are more what I call, this is the model that every team needs to prove, okay? Each team of you need to prove this model, okay? That you are moving your society from being totally dependent, right? Totally dependent on the government, on the system, on the society and so on, to be more what? Independent, okay? Or actually more level than this. We call it interdependent, which means it is total dependence, okay? And this will not happen unless we start to create models. So your models will be a start for other models. It will be like a coin for other models that, oh, this has been done by this use. We need to publish it. For that, we are having our collaboration with the media and so on, so that we can publish this. Based on this, you can build up your model, and your model will be a successful model because you have a purpose for this model that shows.
And here is just an example for value team. We were saying that because the colors are here a little bit wrong, the gambling here, this is how it's going and growing, and how we can see it in Bosnia. The impact they want to leave in gambling is to bring it down. And the other impact they want, and you can see I'm linking things to tourism just to build the ideas together. Now what we are having here, although tourism is going up, but if the gambling will continue, the family tourism will go lower, because no families will come with their children, with their kids as a families, in a country that there's a gambling shop every corner.
And I can
Maybe
tell you,
tourism
people
will
of
come, but not the family tourism.
I can tell you,
We're not
people
going
of the
to
Arab
get clean
world,
tourism.
people of the Arab world, they are not aware about this offices. But tomorrow, if any accident happened, and any of these people, these youth, they started to go into gambling because of your country, I can tell you that the word of mouth will spread like fire. It will fire back on your country. Yes.
Okay, so instead of having the gambling shop going up, we wanted to bring it down, and to keep a family tourism coming up in a state of non-clean tourism, and of course the number of gambling shop and betting shop needs to go down. So here when you put your imaginary, what are the targets you want to put, and then you can link things together, for example.
Again, we'll work with you on these statistics as we are showing you how we should visualize. We need each project team to say what they will do, what is happening now, and what they will do to bring it back through a model, not through just a measure. The school, how it was before, how it was after. Or the NGOs or whatever, how it was before, how it was after.
And you know what is the power of these draws? When we draw this, we are saying that we are not going to let anyone else to draw our future. Because we are used to that these numbers go up and high according to what others draw for us. Oh, population is going high, immigration going high, the health is down. I'm just reading the statistics. I'm not participating in changing the future. As a youth, you need to draw your future, to see it. These number of gambles in this country, in my area, this is the number, but I don't want to continue with this number. This is the thing that I want to live for, and I'm going to change it. When you see these draw, you will draw your future. Where are the things that you want to change? It's not only about changing my future. Okay, I want to grow, I want to have a better position, better income, I want to study, but it's not only a line I'm drawing for myself. It's good to draw a line for yourself, and you have to do it, but also draw a line for the things you want for your country, for the topic you are taking, for the project you are taking. You are going to build a model in a small school, but you are imagining how you want to build it for the whole Bosnia and the world.
Well, I know you are tired. I want just to give you example. We'll take a break and we'll give you exercise. Let me give you just two examples of what we did in Bahrain. I was telling to the Minister of Health in Bahrain this example, okay? And this is a real example, okay? This is a real statistic. And for that, we'd like you to imagine the same. You tell us each team will draw something like this for their team. I was telling to the Minister of Bahrain, the more you build hospitals, okay, or health centers, Bahrain is the best, by the way, the best MENA country. You know MENA means what?
Middle East and North Africa.
Middle East and North Africa. We are the best country as a reference for United Nations or UNESCO or WHO. We are having the best hospitals, most very advanced hospitals, and we are having what we call in each power blocks we have health center. Okay. So I was telling to the Minister of Bahrain, the more we build hospitals and we build health centers, because most ministers when they come, they say we'll do that much hospitals, that much health centers. The more you are having what we call it NCDs. I told you yesterday about NCDs, okay, which is blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and so on. Okay, the more we are having NCDs, because Bahrain is one of the highest countries in the world in blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity, and so on. Okay, so he said, no, this is not right. I said, yes, this is right. This is statistics. Okay, so what we should do now? Anyone? What we should do in order to solve this problem? Should we not build hospitals? What should be the target of any Minister of Health? Reduce the NCDs, right? Reduce the NCDs. So if you claim that you want to build up hospitals, the hospital's role or Ministry of Health role is not to build up hospitals. Ministry of Health role, this is only support, right? Support to make our people healthy. Our people is dying faster. Their age is dying. They get more chronic diseases. They stay maybe since 50. They start to build up diabetes and so on, because we are not capturing this issue. So the goal became to capture NCDs as early as possible. So we capture this before people they get the disease. Okay, which is become obese, become having diabetes, blood pressure, and cholesterol. By the fourth one, I was saying about it yesterday. Cholesterol. These are the 4 types of diseases. So this is an example. Also, I told them, and we worked on this project. Same thing I told the Minister of Education. So that just to open your ideas and how much we can solve this problem. I was telling him, the more you build up schools in Bahrain, the more we'll have unemployed people. Like here, the more we'll have graduates, the more we'll have what? Instead of unemployed, migrants. Right? This is what's happening here in Bosnia. So what is the solution here? Do we not give make schools and take more students? No. We are supposed to have what? More people who are being, either they're going to create jobs, because there is no jobs. Bahrain is a very small country, okay? So we need to have more job creators who will come to the market, because the market is unstable. We cannot find them jobs. Even if we design to them, it's not easy, okay? So then the more we build up schools and we have graduates, we should have what we call it lifelong learners, which are what? Job creators. This is, by the way, the formula that each team I want from them to tell me in statistics how they show that what is the situation today, more schools, more graduates, and what is they going to do about it when they have a problem, okay? Which is the problem here is what? For example, unemployment, more migration, and so on. Okay? We'll take a break now, and then we're going to start break for 10 minutes, and then we're going to start, inshallah, the exercise for another 10 minutes.